quite the furor. The BJP has gone ahead and wrested control of the Madhya Pradesh, and many political pundits are attributing that success, that wresting of power.
Between him and Mr. Hemant Biswa Sarma, there was one only who could become the CM, and obviously, and Mr. Sonowal has been a minister before as well. So he was sent to Assam, then Mr. Sarma comes, he delivers the Assam, and in all likelihood, he can get a cabinet berth in center. That is not a debatable point. The point number two is Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia. You see, the whole Chambal belt, when there was a re-election, that Chambal belt moving in the favor of BJP was courtesy Mr. Scindia, because that is what his stronghold is. And now, if you look at the MP politics, there, I don't think there's a lot of space for Mr. Scindia, as long as Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan is there and Mr. Kailash Vijayavargiya there as well. So looking at the kind of equations they're shaping in MP, the only place where Mr. Scindia can be accommodated is in the cabinet. Now, will it be a MOS or a cabinet minister? That is something to be seen, but I don't think Mr. Scindia will be happy with the MOS. So now what does he get? What does he offer? Does he take the offer or not? That is again to be seen, because there's a lot of pressure from the BJP. There are a lot of netas within the BJP also who are aspirations, who have done pretty well. So it will be a balance again. And knowing Prime Minister Modi, ultimately he holds the veto power. We all can or think, believe or presume, or even his party cadre can propose a lot of things to him. But ultimately it is the chemistry with the Prime Minister. It is the perception Prime Minister holds about a person. Because at the end of the day, his ministry so far has been, taint free. There's not even one single taint anywhere in the last 7 years, and he will like to maintain that repute and record going forward. So ultimately, it is Prime Minister Modi who will say yes or no. The names might be proposed and all. But I sincerely feel there he has to accommodate more than 70% from the BJP, because unless he does that, the message to the cadre and message to his own party men won't be appropriate. So 70% from BJP and 30% can be people who are moved in, allies and all. I think that is what the formula has to be. There will be caste compulsions, there will be regional and local compulsions. But in my opinion, final veto will be with the Prime Minister, and with Modi ji, surprises are a no surprise. We don't know what is going to come up. And one last point I want to make is, even with the existing ministers, how many of them retain the portfolio? That will be a $1 billion question. And how many of them retain how many portfolios? If you have one more than one, that will be another important thing to see. Because I think with this cooperative ministry and all being conceptualized, which is a fantastic and brilliant idea, you might have many more such things in his mind, which will come to know in due course of time. So, we have to wait and watch. You can only contemplate and we can only, assume and presume, but ultimately with Modi ji, by the time it is not done, it is not done.
Absolutely. Joyita, coming over here and the key point, and perhaps going to overshadow this in
but the political gateway is Uttar Pradesh. But if you look at the names which are doing their rounds, there are not more than 4 to 5 names which are being talked from Uttar Pradesh as such. So it is not going to be like a very, very heavily weighted, or a weighted average on Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is going to get its due share as per the size and stature. But BJP is not doing bad in Uttar Pradesh. Look at the Panchayati Raj elections, which Panchayat polls were just back. Out of 75, they got 65. So the kind of aspersions which are being caused that Yogi is not doing well, Uttar Pradesh is in trouble, and this whole cabinet expansion is around Uttar Pradesh, is all put to rest after the election, these Panchayat poll elections are out. So, and Punjab, yes, it will be a difficult say how they are going to handle Punjab, because they don't have a lot of options. After Shivmani, Akali, then Moose, who are you going to align? You cannot go back to Congress. You cannot go to AAP, and there are no great allies which are left in Punjab. But overall, as I said, it will be a 70-30. 70% has to be the BJP's own men, people like Bhupendra Yadav, and the young people like Rahul Gaswan, Anil Baluni. There are so many of the younger leaders who are waiting for their term to come. But at the same time, 20 to 30% weightage for the people who have moved into BJP, or the allies will be a fair and just comparison. And what Rishabh rightly said, you have compulsions like in the state of Karnataka. How are you going to? So these have to be also accommodated. Now, if you look at Karnataka, it has to be somebody from the BJP only. So if you look at Mr. Bhupendra Yadav, he has delivered so much from BJP. He's looking what he's going to convey. If you look at Mr. Jay Panda, so these are the people who are also a part of BJP, who have not been earlier part of the BJP. They need to be accommodated. So it is going to be a complex task. But again, what is your chemistry with the PM, and what does PM perceive about you? What is your report card in his opinion and in his
Talking about
That will be
report
the
cards,
deciding factor.
talking about report cards and performances, let's be honest, there has been a dent for the union.